Hi everyone, today's video will focus on alternative checkouts. As you may know, Shopify has recently modified its terms and conditions of use, blocking any third-party application from modifying the shop's payment interface. It was therefore no longer possible to install applications that would allow to modify the checkout simply. To overcome this, the Checkout X team has been very reactive and has released an update allowing to install a different checkout, much more efficient than the basic one proposed by Shopify. I had already done a tutorial on the installation of Checkout X, but this update has considerably modified the installation steps, so I decided to redo a tutorial to help you install it properly. So as a reminder, or for those who don't know the application, it's in my opinion the best checkout application since it has a lot of advantages. First of all, it's a checkout in one page. That's to say that contrary to the basic checkout of Shopify, you don't have 3 steps to validate, so it's much more ergonomic, pleasant, and fast for the customer. First, we have our shipping information. Here is our shipping method. Billing information, that's classic. Our order summary, if we want to enter a coupon code. The payment method, so it goes very fast for the customer. When you validate the purchase, the second advantage of this application is that it is possible to propose a post-purchase so it is integrated into the application. So that means we will propose here a second product directly that we can buy in one click. So that's very advantageous. The big advantage with this system of post-purchase integrated into the application is that you don't need to install yet another application that you have to pay for next to it. It's all integrated in Checkout X. So here, in only one click, you can validate a purchase. We can recently propose several post-purchase, so that is to say, there, I validated a first one. I can validate a second one. Then, when it creates the order, we arrive on the summary page, and here it is finished for the customer. There are also many other integrated options, such as the possibility to do email reminders automatically. Again, it makes you one less application to install. Everything is taken into account by Checkout X, so that's what's great about this application. You can normally test this application for 14 days, but I remind you that if you go through my affiliate link in the description, you can get double, so 1 full month to test the application. I'm now going to show you how to install the application. When you go through the link to install the application, you will come across this page. So we're going to click on Continue, and there you have 2 options. Either you can ask the X Checkout support to connect you. They will connect the application themselves. It will take about 24 hours, but you won't have to do anything. Or you can install it yourself. I'll show you how to do it step by step. And in 10 minutes, it can be done and you won't have to wait 24 hours to use the application. So we'll click on Manual Connection. Here you will enter your myshopify.com domain name. I created one for the occasion to show you how to install the application. You click on Continue. We're coming up on this page. We're going to click on the first blue button. It will open a new page. We'll go back to our other window. We'll click on Continue, and there they'll give us all the instructions. So I'm going to explain how it works. Application name. So you copy this text or click this button directly. We go back to the other window and paste it here. Then, we'll take this email and paste it here. That's it. Then we'll have to allow admin access to the API. So it looks complicated, but it's really very simple. We'll click here. Check the disabled admin API authorizations. It will open the whole list, and on this window, it will tell us for each step what to put as authorization on the API. So there's no need to change all the steps. For example, let's take this line and put it in Read Access. So she's already set on that option. We will then look at theme templates and theme assets on Read and Write. So we're going to look for theme templates and theme assets here. Here we click on it, Reading and Writing. We repeat the operation on all these steps, and once it's done, we'll continue. Here I have just entered everything. I will now click on Save, then I validate. It loads. Once it's done, we go back to this window and click on Continue to Next Step. It will now ask us for the API key that we retrieve on this page. We click on API key here to copy it. We paste it. And the same for the password. The password that we paste, and then we get the shared code. Be careful not to copy the example URL. The shared code that we copy and paste here. Once it's done, we click on Check. The application will check if all the steps are good, and if all the steps are good, you land on this window. If you have an error, it will be specified and you can modify it very simply. So we're almost done with the installation. There are 5 steps left. We'll install Checkout X on our Shopify theme since it's basic to install. So we will click on Add. Now it's done automatically, so there's no need to modify the code of our theme. Then we click on the second step. It will be Configure the sending options. So here's the basics. It's like this. We're going to change that. So we're going to set the price to 0 if we want it to be free. All the countries are already pre-configured. We can edit them as we want. This is the name of the delivery. For example, you can set free shipping. So that's it. Then you just have to save. Once this is done, you click Confirm. This step is then completed. We move on to the third step, the payment method. So Stripe, PayPal, there are others. There is Mali, for example, which is really interesting. So we're going to take the most famous ones, Stripe and PayPal. To install, we start with PayPal. It's very simple. You just have to enter your PayPal email. So now I'm on my Test Stripe account. We're going to go to the Developer tab and then to API key. You're going to get your public key here. That you're going to copy here. Then you will click on Reveal the token of test key. You will recover your private token, which you will then put in secret key. Here will be the map icons. You can tick the icons you are interested in. Once that's done, you click Save Payment Method. Then we get to the fourth step. Simply enter your billing information for the application. It says it's 14 days, but I remind you that if you go through the link in the description, you have 30 days, so more than double. 1 full month to test the application. So we're going to click on Add. For the prices of the application, it's €39 per month, plus 1% transaction fee, so it's much cheaper than the basic checkout. Not only because it's faster, more ergonomic, but also cheaper. From basic Shopify, you take 2% of transactions. Here, only 1% plus €39 per month. Or the higher plan for €200 per month and 0.5% transaction fee. Here, there is a tipping point to calculate, or it will be more profitable, but of course, I recommend you take the standard option to start. Here, we will simply put our billing information and validate to finish this step. Once this is done, there is only one step left, so the preview and publication of the checkout. We will click on Preview and Publish. We arrive on a page that shows us the example of our checkout. So for now, it's quite simplistic since we will be able to modify the logos, but the example is there. You can click on Customize Checkout. We arrive on this page, so there, it's very simple. The euro sign, we'll just put it in front. Here, we will be able to put the URL of a logo, a favicon. So the favicon is the little icon at the top of the Google page, next to the name of the page. Trust badges eventually. Change the colors. If we want to put the return policies, terms and conditions, etc. Requires a phone number. I suggest you uncheck it since it's one step too many, and very often we don't need it, unless you really need it. I suggest you uncheck it. The pre-check of the email is simply to get the automatic subscription to the newsletter. I advise you to let it check. Here you can set a timer, so I'll activate it. I'll show you how it works afterwards. Here you can choose to activate or deactivate the Powered by Checkout X logo. I deactivate it all the time. And the last step, you can leave it checked. Then we save. We redo the preview, and here we see the timer I was telling you about. If you change the logo, it will be, instead of this text, the logo of your shop that will be put. And once it's done, we just have to click on Publish Checkout. So now the checkout is installed, but we still have some steps that are still important. We're going to go to Configuration, Integration, and we're going to click on Facebook Ads Pixel. So it's just to put your Facebook pixel. You're going to click here and put your Facebook pixel here. So here it is, simply to be able to track with your pixel on your checkout since basic. The pixel can be installed on your Shopify, but it will not be automatically installed on Checkout X, so we will put it here. You have other integrations that can be useful, like Algolia, which is in fact an application that allows you to, when you start typing an address, it can auto-fill it, so it can be interesting. Google Analytics. Google Ads you probably know. Azamio, which can be really handy since they are partners with Azamio, so it's to do retargeting in a simplified way for beginners. It can be interesting. There is also an integration, MailChimp and Klaviyo, but I never tested that, so I can't give you my opinion on it. You also have the cart recovery option, which is very interesting. So it's simply, as I explained earlier, a system of automatic restart for abandoned carts, so very interesting. Frankly, I don't think I need to explain to you. You just have to click Add. You can create your mail, define a time. It will be very simple. Then we have the translations, so you can modify, manually translate your checkout, or change the language among the predefined languages. French is well translated, so you click on Change Language. And finally, a last option which is very important, even indispensable. It's the post-purchase upsell system. So you can create post-purchase upsells, so an upsell once the customer has finished a purchase. So it's not too intrusive sometimes. I see people who make upsells before the customer has even finalized his purchase. That is to say, when he adds to the cart, I find that it's not very efficient. I really advise you to make post-purchase upsell, so that's what Checkout X proposes very simply. So you're testing the product. Upsell trigger, so that's the trigger. So that's what product you're going to load this upsell on. You add product here by clicking on Add Product, or you can directly add a collection if you want. So this is the trigger. It's not your upsell, and this is your first upsell, so we're going to load a product to promote directly in upsell once the purchase of the previous product is validated. It's very simple, and you don't need to install an additional upsell application that you have to pay for. This video tutorial of Checkout X on Shopify is coming to an end. I tried to be as complete as possible. If you have other questions, ask me in the comments. I will try to answer. If this video was useful, let me know as usual by liking it. I also remind you that there is an affiliate link in the description to benefit from the 30 days offered for the application. See you soon on the eBusiness channel.